We are Witches Who Podcast.
Hello, Shelby.
Hello, Dee.
How's life lately?
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm just kind of jealous of Tucker right now because he's over there napping in the sunshine, and that sounds like it would be really luxurious.
It seems very comfortable.
Yeah. I've been really wanting to be cozy lately, and it's just now starting to warm up.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting really upset because I just want to wear my robe and my sweaters and my slippers, and I'm hot.
Well, one can do that under the AC too.
I'm just going to crank the AC.
It's like crank the AC. I want to experience coziness.
It's like 80 degrees outside.
I love that. I love that. Life has been interesting. Lots of, I believe, recalibrating and just going with it. There's so much stuff happening in the world, as we know, that it's just like, where do we fit in there and what part we want to play, right? Yeah. And I think I'm feeling it from the outside. I'm trying to stay grounded and a little bit more centered to just make sure that, doesn't hit me in the face.
Totally. Just want to drink my tea and do my yoga, you guys. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I know.
And wear my freaking robe. Okay.
Wear your robe and
in my
world
robe.
Don't fall apart. And
just keep it together.
Yes, please. But today we have a really cool episode. Yes. I'm very excited as we are in lieu of the St. Patrick's.
Yes, I'm very excited to talk about this. As you all probably know by now, I have Celtic roots and I practice a lot of Celtic traditions. So St. Patrick's Day is actually I have a love-hate relationship with St. Patrick's Day. And you'll learn why.
Well, everyone, I am Dee.
I'm Shelby, and we are Witches Who Podcast. And today is all about St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
So without further ado, let's settle into it. I'm going to paint a picture for you here.
Love it.
I wrote a short story that I'm going to share with you all.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Kind of about just some lore around St. Patrick's Day. So settle in, get cozy, pull out your green beer, and let's take a journey back into ancient times. Cue Celtic music now.
I don't know.
I'll overlap it. It'll be good. All right, here we go. Long ago, Ireland was cursed with serpents. Not mere creatures of flesh and scale, but ancient things, whispering in the dark. Their forked tongues weaving spells older than time itself. They were the remnants of a world before men, before faith, before the light. The people lived in terror, for these were no ordinary snakes. They were spirits of the old gods, the last children of a dying magic. Then the light brought Patrick. He climbed the sacred mountain Craw Patrick, where the druids once stood, their blood still stained the stones. With his staff he struck the earth, and the wind howled through the valleys like the wail of something ancient and enraged. "Leave this land," he commanded. "Your time is over." The snakes recoiled, hissing, their bodies twisting in unnatural ways. Shadows stretched where there should have been none. The rivers turned black with their venom as they slithered towards the cliffs, writhing, shrieking their voices no human should understand. One by one, they threw themselves into the sea, vanishing beneath the waves. But the oldest of them, a great serpent with eyes like burning coals, refused. It had lived before the first breath of man and would not bow so easily. Patrick did not falter. He whispered words no priest should know, words that made the air tremble, the sky darkened, the waves stilled. The great serpent recoiled, fear flashing across its ancient gaze. "This is not your power," it hissed. "This is older than your God." Patrick smiled, for he knew the power that the light bestowed upon him. With a final word, he drove his staff into the serpent's shadow, pinning it to the land. The beast shrieked, writhing as its form twisted into something else, something hollow, something forgotten. Its body stretched, its shape distorted until all that remained was a jagged, black stone, pulsing like a heartbeat. Patrick left it there, buried beneath the mountain, sealed in the dark. But those who walk Craw Patrick at twilight say they can still hear it, a whisper in the wind, a promise of vengeance. And when the storms rage and the earth trembles, some say the serpent is waking.
Dang. Okay, I have not heard that St. Patrick. It's all about like the Lucky Charms, right? And the leprechaun going over the rainbow and this whimsical little creature. Dang, that was dark. But damn, St. Patrick, it's like a baddie.
Maybe I should write horror novels.
Maybe.
So I adapted this. So this is my story that I wrote.
Oh, you wrote it.
Yeah.
Oh, girl.
So I adapted it. I actually made it darker. So I wrote this. This was like a short story project we had to do in college, but I wrote it as like, it was way nicer before.
Okay.
And over time I've like adapted it and it's gotten darker and darker.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to tell a true, like not a true story. It's all metaphorical, right? But to kind of share in like this holiday is celebrated because St. Patrick is credited with bringing Christianity to Ireland, right? And there's the legend of the snakes, that he drove the snakes out of Ireland. Well, the metaphor is evil, right? Snakes represent evil. Or is it representing pagans and druids that refuse to, give in to the ways of Christianity and conform essentially, and they got pushed out, right? So the snakes kind of in this story represent that. And that's why in the very beginning where I talk about the stone is still, dirty with druid blood, essentially.
Dang. You know what? I wasn't thinking about this at all, but I'm wearing a sweater. If you're watching the video, it's a snake in like Adam's apple.
How funny is that? It's perfect.
And it's like, it's like this snake
it's all the way
in
around.
Adam's apple. But
Oh my gosh, I love
I
it.
was like, oh, okay, the snakes. I kind of like them.
I love snakes.
Yeah, no, that's just what it represents. I used to like, oh my gosh, be so scared of snakes. But it was more of like the stories that other people tell you about like fearful and associated with evil.
Totally. Yeah.
And they're not.
No, they're not. And that's kind of like this story comes from that lens of Christianity, right? Where we're trying to portray the snake as bad, right? It's just like the serpent that, coerced Eve to eat the apple and, all the stuff, right? Like all that. But
I'm thinking Adam ate some shrooms.
that's what I think they were just tripping, you know?
They're tripping. All right. And okay, just disclosure, I grew up very, very Catholic. So
I did
made
not.
up. So I still believe the shroom story. Yeah, no, that's fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing. You are
So
like,
much fun.
you have such an vision that and you paint it so vividly. It's just so good. I'm all like, ooh, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. So throughout the story, there's some good symbolism too.
Okay.
So there's a legend, that the snakes represent the druids and that they're being expelled from Ireland for refusing to convert to Christianity. And there's also Patrick's staff. And when I was kind of doing a little bit more research, there was a funny thing. It's like the Celtic Gandalf. And he's like, in his little staff. I was like, yes, Patrick is totally Celtic Gandalf. But Jesus gave him this staff to eradicate the pagans and the druids. That is essentially like where the legend came from. And again, this has not been proven. This isn't like this is what happened kind of thing. You can paint your own picture.
Yeah, because Jesus loves all.
Yeah.
Why are you hating on the pagans and the druids?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then, like the snakes, and most likely are just a metaphor for evil, just like in the Bible.
Yeah.
But, draw your own conclusions. This is up to you to interpret.
Absolutely.
So just a little bit more history about St. Patrick's Day. If you celebrate it, you probably drink your green beer, you probably wear green, and that's probably about it, luck of the Irish, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much to this holiday that a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of history. Before Christianity arrived in Ireland, the ancient Celts celebrated the spring equinox, which is called Ostara, which we'll talk about in our next episode. We'll go into detail. It's the spring equinox. It's on March 21st. It's actually the 20th through the 23rd, depending on where you are in the world. And it's a fire festival, essentially. So we'll go into that later. So instead of celebrating Imbolg and Ostara, which is February 1st, St. Bridget's Day, and then Ostara is the spring equinox. So instead of celebrating those two holidays, like those are pagan tradition, druid tradition. Actually, Ostara is not, but yeah. And so instead of celebrating those 2 days, Christianity decided we're going to take those away and we're going to say St. Patrick's Day and Easter. So those are the two Christian holidays, and that's what we practice in the States. Because we're predominantly a Christian society. And so why do we celebrate St. Patrick's Day? They're Christian. So these are Christian, both of those are Christian holidays. And we'll talk about it next week too. So Easter actually came from the goddess Easter. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but it's Ostara.
Star.
So if you really say Ostara really slow, it kind of sounds like Easter. And you drop the A, it's Easter. But so that one obviously is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. But St. Patrick's Day is actually to honor St. Patrick, obviously, who is credited with bringing Christianity to Ireland. And he did this by using the 3-leaf clover to represent the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, right? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Right?
Yes.
That's right. Like, wait, you gotta do the thing, you know? Yeah. But despite its Christian origins, many traditions associated with St. Patrick's Day are actually pagan. So we were talking about this, I think, before we hit record about the color green, right? So the color green actually represents the rebirth of spring. And in pagan times, green was also associated with fertility and the natural world. Wearing green would protect them from evil spirits, and the color is still associated with luck and good fortune today. In Ireland, it's customary to wear a small bunch of shamrocks on St. Patrick's Day, which is to like support the plant's original significance, essentially. The shamrock is actually, now it's the symbol of Ireland, but was originally a plant that was sacred to the Celts, was believed to have protective powers.
The clover or was the shamrocks?
Yeah, shamrocks, clovers, yeah.
Okay. So, you know, right now when you're saying like they're wearing green for protection, it goes back into like, if you're not wearing green, I'm going to pinch you.
Yes.
Like you're the evil spirits. And I remember hearing that you wear green because it's like that protection, like you become invisible so the leprechauns can't get you.
That's so funny. I didn't even know that.
It's just like people, if you're pinching people on St. Patrick's, please know why you're pinching them. Don't go pinching just because it's like, oh, I just heard that you pinch people. Okay?
For the record, we do not condone violence on this podcast.
No, not at all. And consent. Don't go touching or
excuse me,
assaulting.
can I pinch you since you're not wearing green? That's never
like somebody will be like, oh, yes, sure.
You know what? I deserve that. And thank you for asking. Go ahead.
Gosh, no.
That would not work at all.
Absolutely not.
But yeah, so that is my little synopsis of the history of this holiday.
Oh, I love that.
And oftentimes with St. Patrick's Day, it's associated with the leprechauns, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the little creatures, mischievous
well,
little.
they paint them so different because I think there's a movie that is a horror movie and it's called The Leprechaun.
Yeah.
And like comes in, attacks you. I don't know because I don't watch horror movies.
Yeah, I've seen
but
that one. It's a good one.
I remember seeing it back in the 90s in the shelf and looking all creepy. I'm like, definitely don't want to watch that. It's like, no. Yeah, no. I think I started watching Silence of the Lambs one time because somebody told me this is when I was really young, probably after it came out. Somebody said it was like a really cool documentary.
That's
and
messed up.
I know. And I was like, oh, this is not a documentary.
Oh my God.
I'm going to hurl.
Who told you that? That's so
one
mean.
of my no longer friends back in the 90s.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I know.
That's a messed up
I was like, I got to go. I have a tummy ache.
This is a really bad movie.
I know.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Not a documentary. and then later on, as I was older, I watched it. And it's like a wonderful movie, you know?
It's a pretty good movie.
It is.
Yeah. Anyways, so leprechauns, yes, they're little mischievous little things. And that's what you usually associate with this holiday, right? With St. Patrick's Day is these little red-haired, green-suited, tiny little things running around, causing mischief, throwing gold coins everywhere, and following you to a rainbow or whatever. Well, there's actually a lot to a leprechaun, and there's tons and tons of mythological creatures in Ireland. So there's so much Irish folklore, and it's so fascinating. So I thought it would be fun to kind of just, in the festive spirit of this fun holiday, to take you through leprechauns.
Well, we'll leave it up to them if it's fun or not fun after.
After all
you know.
It's fun, you guys. Don't forget. Okay. Forcing it down your throats. I mean, you can turn it off at any time. Anyways, so I'm going to take you through just some popular Irish mythology or mythological creatures. Yeah. All right, here we go. Starting
I love
with the leprechaun because, it's St. Patrick's Day and the little leprechaun. So leprechauns are known as the guardians of treasure. Their origins come from Irish folklore, obviously. The leprechaun likely springs to mind when you think of Irish folklore. Like when you think about Ireland and Celts, that's probably the first thing that kind of pops into your mind, right? So these small bearded men, clad in green coats and buckled shoes, have become synonymous with Ireland itself. Leprechauns are often portrayed as cobblers who stash away pots of gold at the end of rainbows. Steeped in myth, they are deeply connected to Irish storytelling, symbolizing both cunning and luck. Leprechauns are known for their trickery. If you catch one, he might grant you 3 wishes in exchange for his freedom. However, these tiny tricksters are experts at slippery escapes, often leaving you empty-handed. They're also solitary beings preferring the company of themselves rather than humans or even other fairies. Modern interpretations, from serial mascots to fantasy films, leprechauns have found a firm place in pop culture. Yet it's essential to remember their roots are in folklore, where they served as a lesson in thrift, cunning, and the capricious nature of fortune. And also what it doesn't say is cobblers. So they basically are really looked down upon actually in the Fae realm from other fairies, because they're just fixed shoes. That's their thing, is like they're supposed to be just mending shoemaking. Yeah. So I thought that was really funny.
You need shoes when you can't fly, you have to walk.
Yeah, it's true. They don't have wings. Yeah. They have to walk around and
can't be barefooted forever.
That's true.
Feel some strong calluses, but come on, they're not going to replace a shoe. Wow, that's incredible. I love that. So, I don't know if you know this, but are they all, because you said small, red bearded men, are they female leprechauns?
I don't think so.
It's just like,
I'm pretty sure it's only men.
Interesting. Okay.
Which is, very interesting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But I'd have to look that one up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm almost positive they're always men. I don't know. They must have how do they reproduce,
Yep. How are they so many of them?
Yeah.
So another couple of things right now when you were talking, it was like they can add to that. And of course, their trickery and the capturing the leprechaun, that he will grant you 3 wishes, but just be careful as wishes often come with unexpected consequences.
Ooh,
it's interesting.
That's fun.
And it's between leprechaun traits and superstitions is like weakness to iron. Like other fairies, they are repelled by iron. So maybe, you don't have to wear green. Maybe you wear some iron.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, they're fascinating. Really cool.
Yeah, the iron thing is consistent with a lot of Fae.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
So interesting.
Yes, leprechauns are tricky little buddies, So there's a lot of Irish folklore. So I'm going to take you through a few more mythological creatures. So another one that is pretty popular is the banshee, which is the harbinger of death. The banshee in Irish is one of the most iconic figures in Irish mythology, often described as a wailing woman. The banshee is believed to be the harbinger of death. Her mournful cries are said to foretell the imminent demise of a loved one. According to legend, only certain Irish families, usually those with surnames like O'Neill, O'Brien, or O'Connor, are destined to hear the banshee's lament.
So half of Ireland.
Yeah, so most of Ireland. The banshee is sometimes depicted as an old hag, a beautiful woman, or even a spectral figure cloaked in mist.
Ooh, she reminds me of La Llorona in Mexico.
Yes, exactly. Very similar. So it's basically how do you say it, La Llorona? Yeah, it's that of Ireland.
In Ireland.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
Cool.
The banshee's eerie wails can send shivers down your spine. Witnesses often describe her sound as a mournful scream, rising and falling like a gust of wind. Gosh, that's very guttural. Some say she combs her long silvery hair with a golden comb, while others recount seeing her glide through the air like a ghostly apparition. Banshee sightings are rare sightings, but are usually solemn are usually a solemn affair focused on the impending loss of a family member. So if you hear her, one of your family members is going to die.
Dang.
Terrible. In modern times, the banshee has captured the imagination of writers, filmmakers, and artists. Movies and TV shows have depicted her as everything from a terrifying entity to a misunderstood guardian. Regardless of how she's portrayed, the banshee remains a potent symbol of the thin veil between life and death.
I also like the guardian of that. You know, when you see, what is it, just death, like the skeleton.
Oh, yeah, like the Grim Reaper.
Grim Reaper, yeah. Which
Totally.
They all come from related somehow. Same thing. And I wonder, I was just thinking of that, like, you know, do they like their job?
Yeah.
It's just like, man, in this life, I have to go. People hate me and I come for death.
Yeah, right? Or if they're just hardwired to like love the chaos of it, you know?
Wondering.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
I wonder if they're like born into their realm and they're like, gosh, this again? Like how we are at Earth. We're like, Earth again?
I know.
They're just like, oh, I have to be a banshee. I have to scream every 5 minutes.
I have to shovel poop for the rest of my life.
Right? Oh, man.
Oh, gosh. Okay, interesting. Sorry.
This next one is probably what I would want to be, I think.
Okay.
Maybe. Oh, after I say them all, I want you to decide what you would want to be. Okay. So this one is the puka.
Ooh.
The shape-shifting trickster.
Ooh.
See, I like the options
fun.
here. I like the opportunity to just kind of be whatever I want here. Okay, so are you ready?
Yes.
The puka in Irish is a mischievous shapeshifter known for its ability to take on various forms. This creature can appear as a black horse, a goat, a goblin, or even a human. So how do you know I'm not a puka right now?
That is true. You keep saying you have to go pee several times. I'm not so sure if you're just shape-shifting.
You never know. That's really funny. The puka's main trait is its unpredictability. While it can offer insightful advice or blessings, see, it's sounding more and more like me, it can just as easily lead you astray or play pranks. Originating from the old Celtic tales, pukas are considered both benevolent and malevolent spirits. See, depending largely on their mood. So they're moody bitches. I'm telling you, it's me.
Balance. There you go. The more you speak of it, the more I'm convinced that it's you. Okay.
I'll own this one for sure. If you ever encounter a puka, be prepared for anything. In horse form, it might invite you for a midnight ride, only to dump you in a muddy ditch.
Nice.
As a goblin, it could sneak into your home, wreak havoc, and disappear without a trace.
No, hold on. Comes and cleans my house and then leaves?
Right. Have you ever heard of like the sock fairies?
No.
Or they're sock gnomes, right? Where they come in your house and they steal your socks. My mom used to tell me this story. Just because you know how you always have missing socks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. They come in the middle of the night and they steal just one sock. Not both, just the one.
Nice.
That's why you always have missing socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, however, not all interactions with pukas are troublesome. Some farmers have tales of bountiful harvests attributed to puka's intervention.
Ooh.
See?
Love that.
Pukas hold a mirror to the unpredictable nature of life itself. They remind you to expect the unexpected and not take everything at face value. Modern representations of pukas range from children's books to movies, adding layers of complexity to this versatile creature. It's my favorite one.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah, they're just shape-shifting little, sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're not, and kind of reminds me of a cat a little bit, you know? Just,
That's true. That is true.
I'm into it.
You are kind of like a cat.
A little bit, yeah. Finicky, you know?
Moody,
Yeah.
shape-shifty. Love it.
Unpredictable, you never know.
Sounds more and more.
I love it. Okay, so the next one on my list are selkies.
Selkies. Okay.
Mystical sea dwellers.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so I have this Celtic card deck, like the Oracle deck, and I pull a Selkie card all the time. And remember a while ago we did a fun event and where we had like a bunch of the girls over and we were doing card pulls, and a lot of them got the Selkie card too. It was so interesting. It's like this weird, here, I'll read about it and then it probably will make a little bit more sense. Okay, so Selkies hold a special place in the mythology of coastal Ireland and Scotland. These enchanting creatures are believed to live as seals in the sea, but can shed their skin to become humans on land. So interesting. The tales of Selkies often revolve around love and loss, highlighting their dual nature as both sea and land dwellers. Yeah. When in human form, selkies are said to be incredibly beautiful, attracting the love and admiration of humans. These stories often involve humans hiding the selkies' seal skin, preventing them from returning to the sea.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But can they stay? Can they stay, like, not become seals again?
Yeah, they could, but they don't want to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let them
Rude.
be.
So
Yeah.
rude.
Don't make decisions for them.
Hide their skin? What is that? God.
Who's hiding skin out there?
So gross. So in a closet, it's just like dripping skin.
Ew. Okay.
The human selkie relationships are usually marked by a sense of inevitable sorrow, as the selkie eventually returns to the ocean, leaving their human partner behind. So that's why they would, hide their skin. But they want to go back to the ocean. They're dual creatures,
Can they go back and then just kind of come back again?
Probably. I don't see why not,
Maybe if they're in a bad relationship, be like, oh, I'm going to be right back, love. It's like,
just leave. Just get in this silk skin or seal skin and dip out.
Interesting. Okay.
Selkies have inspired numerous ballads, poems, and even modern films. Their stories reflect themes of freedom, captivity, and the eternal call of the sea. They serve as poignant reminder of the transient nature of life and love. Life is fleeting. Yeah. Love, what is it? If you love them, let them go, or set them free.
Set them free. If they return, they're yours.
Yeah.
If not, they never were.
Yeah. I like selkies.
Oh,
they're all so cool.
Yeah. Can you be a puka selkie?
Ooh, yeah. Can you be a hybrid?
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be fun. I mean, how would that work? Could you just shed multiple skins? You just get to jump in different skins all the time? Oh, then that's probably a demon. Never mind.
No more.
We're not saying that word anymore. No more D words.
Okay. So loving. Okay.
All right. The next one is probably a term you've heard a lot, which is, I've already said it like 8 times, which is the fae.
Okay.
So, the enigmatic fairies. The term fae encompasses a broad range of creatures in Irish mythology, from sprites to majestic beings, often residing in a parallel world known as the other world. The fae are believed to have immense power and are inherently tied to nature. Legend says that the fae can bless or curse humans depending on how they are treated. Yeah. The fae are often divided into various categories, such as trooping fairies who live in large groups and solitary fairies who prefer to live alone. Each group has its own hierarchy, rules, and customs, making the fae a complex and multifaceted realm of mythical beings. They often dwell in ancient mounds, groves, and enchanted fortresses, hidden from the human eyes. Oh, shit, I just touched the top of my phone screen. And I was totally reset. Oh, here we go.
I like the fae. I do, but I'm always like a little eerie of the fae.
Oh, yes.
Because it can also be moody and be like, oh, you did not do me right.
Absolutely. They're tricky.
Yes.
Yes, you have to show discernment.
Yeah. Very sensitive beings. So being like extra, like you can't joke with the fae, I feel.
No, absolutely not. Okay. And this is also where the iron definitely comes in handy. Keep these guys away. Okay. But while you might think of the fae, they belong to ancient lore, they are still very much alive in modern storytelling. Books, TV shows, movies continue to draw inspiration from these enchanting beings. Whether depicted as benevolent creatures or tricksters, the fae capture the imagination, inviting you to consider the mysteries that lie just beyond the human world. The fae are so popular, and I think it's also like even more so in modern culture now, especially, just the fantasy book world, right? Like I've always loved fantasy books like forever. But I feel like now it's becoming a lot more mainstream and it's so popular. But a lot of people don't even know where the roots come from, right? Yes. Yeah. All right. The next one is the Headless Horseman, the Dullahan. Ooh. I know. So interesting. And I'm saying this without an accent, so it doesn't sound right. But
and I didn't know it was Irish.
Well, I think there's multiple but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Dullahan is another eerie figure in Irish mythology, often likened to the Headless Horseman of American folklore. So the dark and ominous figure rides a black horse, carrying its own head under its arm. The Dullahan is believed to be an omen of death, similar to the Banshee, but much more menacing in appearance.
Okay. Yes. So not as scary. Well, it doesn't have a head.
Yeah, I think it's more menacing.
Oh, more menacing. Oh, I thought less menacing. Okay.
Yeah. So at the stroke of midnight, the Dullahan embarks on its grim journey. its head held high, literally held high, revealing.
Oh, he's holding his head. It's not
Yes,
just
he's
like without a
holding his
head.
head. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
With its head held high, revealing a menacing grin. The creature's eyes are said to glow with an unearthly light, allowing it to see vast distances, even through the darkest of nights. If the Dullahan calls out your name, your fate is sealed. You will die. You will die. You are screwed.
Yeah. Okay.
Running will get you nowhere. Unlike many other mythological beings, the Dullahan is almost always portrayed as malevolent, striking fear into the hearts of those who encounter it. Well, obviously, you see it and you says your name, you're dead. That's pretty menacing.
It's not saying your name to say hello.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello,
You do not,
so-and-so.
yeah, you do not want this dude to address you.
Yes. Okay.
The Dullahan has served as an inspiration for various horror stories, films. Yeah, you see this guy everywhere, even in video games.
Yeah.
Its chilling presence continues to fascinate and terrify, proving that some myths endure precisely because they tap into your deepest fears.
How did he die?
He got his head cut off.
But why?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's the thing. Like, yeah.
Because there isn't, we have like the American Headless Horseman. What is that?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to look that up now. It's going to drive me crazy. But it's like a fairy tale almost.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, gosh. The Headless Horseman. Oh, I can't remember.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So his head got cut off and he kills other people. But we don't know where, like, did he had anger issues?
Probably.
Okay.
You know? He's probably like, that sad kid that got like made fun of a lot where he was just like real shy and everybody thought he was a weirdo.
Oh, man.
So now in like the death world, the other world, he's taking vengeance, He goes, screw you guys for being mean to me. I'll show you. That's what I would do.
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah.
Remember middle school?
Okay. Remember when you pinched me because I wasn't wearing green?
I know. Okay, sorry.
If you ever feel a cold wind and hear the galloping of a horse at midnight, you might just encounter this legendary harbinger of doom.
Oh, no.
I just hope he doesn't say your name.
Jeez. That'll be terrifying.
Say my name.
Be like you're at like a ranch camp. People went out and it's like so-and-so hasn't returned. And then you're telling this story around the thing. And then somebody's like, Shelby.
Oh my gosh.
Hell no.
Shit.
Run. Shoot it.
That'll work. Get my iron.
Get the iron.
Iron bullets in my gun.
And the holy water.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
All right. So the next one is called the Marrow. They're Ireland's merfolk. So like mermaids and mermen.
Ooh,
I know.
Okay.
So Marrows, the mermaid-like beings of Irish folklore, captivate with their beauty and mystique. The term marrow comes from the Gaelic word muir, sea, and og, young woman. So these enchanting sea creatures are divided into male and female counterparts. While female marrows are often portrayed as alluring and kind-hearted, their male counterparts are frequently described as grotesque and hostile. Sounds about right,
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Female marrows are said to possess a magical cap called, I'm going to butcher this, Cohuline Druith, which allows...
A cap?
Yeah, like
when you go swimming, a cap?
like a cap. It's just,
Okay, a cap.
like a
It's not
hat.
a hat. Okay.
Yeah. Which allows them to travel between sea and land. The loss of this cap prevents them from returning to their underwater homes, often leading to tragic love stories involving human men.
Oh.
I know.
Okay.
So sad. Male marrows, on the other hand, are usually depicted as monstrous creatures dwelling in the deepest parts of the oceans. From ancient ballads to contemporary novels, marrows have inspired countless works of art and literature. Their stories often explore themes of transformation, forbidden love, and the eternal lure of the sea. Their dual nature, both beautiful and monstrous, adds layers of complexity to their myth, making them perennial favorites in Irish folklore. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. So they're not friends with the Silkies?
I don't think so.
It's just like,
Well, it's funny that
they
only
both come out.
Yeah,
of the
only the
water.
women. Only the women marrows can leave the water as long as they have their little hats, But not the men.
Well, the thing is, like tinfoil hat,
Yeah. I mean, I guess if they're that mean to, the male marrows are kind of a-holes, then yeah, I would take my cap and dip out. Like, screw you guys, I'm going to land. Those human men look way nicer. Some of them.
Oh man. Okay. Interesting.
yeah.
This is fascinating. I love it.
No, okay, I just have a few more.
Okay.
So, the Slaw or host of the unforgiven dead. So they're restless spirits.
Okay.
Their spirits said to be the souls of the restless dead. In Irish mythology, they are often portrayed as malevolent beings who wander the night sky in the form of a flock of birds. These spirits are believed to collect the souls of those who are dying, particularly those who led sinful lives. This is where crows get a bad name.
Okay.
This is where the murder comes in.
Okay. Okay.
So there's a book, I forget what it's called. I think it's actually called The Crow, where it talks about, it's fiction. And it's a little island off of Scotland. Oh, I gotta remember this book. It was actually super good. And every time the crows come, it's like they have to take somebody back as a sacrifice. It's like part of the
crows have to carry somebody like a human. Like pick up, does it have to be a baby or an adult, or
no,
does
it can
just
be
like anybody?
And like the town has to like give it like a sacrifice. They have to choose a sacrifice.
I bet you there's some movie probably.
Probably. It'd be really
if not,
good.
let's make a movie.
Make one.
Hollywood, you
Get
have to
on
pay
this.
us. Get on this, but it was our idea. Make a movie.
These spirits are believed to collect the souls of those who are dying, particularly those who led sinful lives. If you hear the fluttering of wings and eerie wails of the slaw, I don't know, whatever, you are in the presence of these ominous spirits. They are known for their aggressive behavior, snatching souls and causing havoc. The slaw, it's probably, like slaw.
Okay.
Are feared not only for their malevolence, but also for their association with the dead and the unknown realms beyond the grave. Although not as well known as other mythological creatures, the slaw have found their way into modern horror and fantasy genres. Their unsettling nature makes them perfect subjects for dark tales and spine-chilling stories. The slaw remind you that not all spirits find peace, and some wander the earth forever seeking what they cannot have.
Dang.
Right? Okay, this next one is really fun.
Wait. Okay. So
they're all fun.
No, but this is a little island outside Scotland. Is this a real island, or was it an island at some point, or just
This place, I don't.
or no? The book that you were talking about. Is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's a fictional book, so I don't know if it was
got it.
like.
Oh, well, yes. I was like, yeah, no, it was real. They came and took all these people. Hey,
I mean,
could be.
it could be. Totally could be.
Okay.
But there's a million islands off of Scotland, so like the Isle of Lewis is right there too. All kinds of stuff. So
Okay.
probably it's probably really.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So let's lock up your babies because here comes the changelings. Okay, so this next one, the changeling.
shoot. Yeah. Oh, it's one of my favorites.
Yes, fairy replacements. Okay, so the concept of the changelings are human children are swapped with fairy offspring. So it's deeply rooted in Irish folklore. Fairies are believed to leave their own sickly or mischievous children in place of a healthy human baby. I know. It's so messed up.
I thought it was only sick kids. Oh, so it's like if you're a little brat, I'm going to.
No, it's the sick fairies. So they take a healthy human baby and replace it with a sickly baby. Yeah, they want a healthy baby. Yeah, they're dropping off their sick fairy baby and they're stealing your healthy human.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that messed up? Yeah. The stolen human child is taken for the fairy realm, while the changeling remains in the human world, often causing confusion and distress for the unsuspecting parents.
My kids may be changed.
That's funny. You're like, oh no. Changelings are usually identified by their odd behaviors and appearance. They may exhibit inexplicable knowledge, strange habits, or sudden changes in temperament. In some tales, changelings never grow old, retaining a childlike appearance even as the years pass. Various folk remedies exist for identifying and expelling changelings, although these practices are steeped in superstition and often led to tragic consequences.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yes.
No, I totally not what I thought. I thought if you had like a sick baby, you will give it to the fae, and then a changeling will heal your baby. But they will take, so what they left is like your healthy baby went and to live with the fairies and is healthy and it's gonna grow healthy, and your baby did, sometimes the baby it's better, if it didn't die, like in the human form, the baby is a healthy baby what came back. And if it did die, it just means that what's dead is the changeling baby, and their real baby went to live with the fairies.
Well, yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, but they don't leave. They leave. You get a good baby. You don't get a bad baby.
No, they leave you with their sick baby.
No,
like,
no, you get either your healthy baby back, or your baby, will like died in the human form, but it lives healthy in the so okay, that is messed up.
No, they just steal your stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, thank you. Wow. Okay.
The theme of changelings has intrigued writers and filmmakers for generations. They symbolize fear of the unknown, the uncanny, and the loss of loved ones. In modern interpretations, changelings often highlight the clash between reality and myth, blending the boundaries between what is seen and unseen. So it's definitely like, I mean, if you think of the Fae in general, they're little tricksters, whatever, and they go pretty much undetected. So they're like, oh, I have a sickly baby. Let's give it to the human. I'm going to take this human baby. What I'm curious about is, we have all these like lore and legends, and here's how to identify a changeling, right? Do they have this in the other world? Like, how do you identify a human baby? Or do they think it's us? Like, oh, they're stealing our babies and giving us their, human babies. You know what I mean?
Leftover baby.
Like, what is their lore on humans? That's what I'm curious about.
Interesting. I don't know. I'm thinking they do have like a school, some classes you have to attend, and be like, hey, this is what you can expect with the humans.
Yeah.
And if this happens, do not approach. And if this happens, show up and give them a heart attack.
Yeah. Pinch them.
Pinch them. They're not wearing green. Make sure to pinch them.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I think I just have like two more.
Okay.
Yeah. Two more. Okay. So this next one is the Furbolg.
The what?
The Furbolg.
Furbolg. Okay.
They're ancient giants who are said to have inhabited Ireland before the arrival of the Tuatha De Danann, which I will talk about next. They're a race of godlike beings.
Ooh.
According to mythology, the Furbolg were descendants of the Numidians, an earlier group of settlers. They were once enslaved in Greece, but they managed to escape and eventually returned to Ireland to reclaim their land. The Furbolg are depicted as tall, powerful beings, skilled in agriculture and warfare. They established a sophisticated society with kings and territories. However, their reign came to an end when they were defeated by the Tuatha De Danann in the Battle of Magtorde. Despite their defeat, the Furbolg hold a significant place in Irish mythology as one of the early inhabitants of the land. The Furbolg have influenced various aspects of Irish culture. From ancient monuments to modern literature, they represent the struggle and resilience of early settlers in Ireland, serving as a reminder of the land's deep and complex history. Their legacy continues to inspire stories of bravery, resilience, and the enduring spirit of Ireland.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, super similar to Greek mythology. They were giants in Greek mythology, and like what's the one eye?
Yeah,
crap, I forgot, but whatever. You get it. Odysseus's children. Cyclops. There you go. That's the one.
Thank you.
Who were said to be huge, right? So there's, just a little bit of a different take on it, but yeah, they migrated up into Ireland, right?
Wow. Okay.
Super interesting.
Fascinating.
So the last one, which I touched on a little bit, is the Tuatha De Danann, the gods among men.
Okay. So
the Tuatha De Danann, often referred to as the people of the goddess Danu, which I'm sure you've probably heard. They are among the most revered beings in Irish mythology. They are considered deities or demigods who possess extraordinary magical abilities and wisdom. According to legend, they arrived in Ireland on ships that descended from the clouds, bringing with them 4 magical treasures: the Stone of Destiny, the Spear of Lugh, the Sword of Nuada, and the Cauldron of Dagda.
Dang. Okay.
I love these guys.
So like the wise men.
Yeah, essentially.
All right. Christianity got their wise men, and maybe it was just these dudes over here.
Yeah, exactly.
AKA aliens.
Exactly. Stay tuned for more episodes. Okay. Each member.
Maybe it was Hans.
That will make sense later, you guys. You have to keep listening and then come back to this episode and be like, oh,
Yes.
oh my gosh. Each member of the 12th day Danann possesses unique skills and attributes. For example, Lug is known for his many talents, while Brigid is associated with healing. I'm sure you've heard Brigid. Yeah. She's associated with healing, poetry, and smithcraft. Their magical abilities enable them to protect and nurture the land, making them powerful patron figures in Irish lore. The Tuatha De Danann have left an indelible mark on Irish culture and mythology. They are often depicted as wise and benevolent figures guiding and protecting humanity. Their stories continue to inspire modern works of fiction, serving as a rich source of mythological themes and characters.
All right. Oh, this has been fascinating.
Yeah, so lots of really interesting creatures. And I mean, that's just, I'm barely touching on, you know, like we can go super deep into all of these areas, like Tuatha De Danann. There's so much work there. But yeah, so Ireland, fascinating place, lots of lore, lots of
I want to go.
magic.
I want to go too. I want to go to Lewis,
My dream, the Isle of Lewis
Island.
in Scotland.
Yes,
It's my dream. I will get there one day. But so to reel it back into St. Patrick's Day, I also did a little bit more deep diving into leprechauns and their legends and lore and encounters a little bit more modern day.
Yeah.
So I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, so it's not too long. So when you think about little leprechauns, you know, we just kind of went through them a little bit. They're little elusive little creatures that trick you, and they don't want to be captured.
That make great shoes.
They make great shoes.
Maybe
right?
cousins with Geppetto.
Oh my god.
Toys and woodwork.
They're secretly elves, you know. It's all related. But in modern day, there's actually been some encounters that people claim that they've seen real life leprechauns.
Oh, I wanted to ask you if any of these has been like documented, like the TV, like people were like, you know, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, yay.
Well,
okay.
sort of, not really.
Okay. People interview on this?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay. I love
there's
this.
one. Okay, so there's actually in Mobile, Alabama in 2006, there was actually a news story on the national, like on their local TV report did a
This
story.
happened here in the States,
Yes.
not in Ireland. Okay.
Here.
Okay, I'm surprised now. Okay.
Yes, which is like, okay.
All right.
But then the rest of them I've had, they're in Ireland. So it was in a little neighborhood in Mobile, Alabama. There were reports of leprechaun sightings in a tree, and it attracted like a huge crowd of people. They even sketched out what the guy saw, and they still celebrate this to this day. Like that little neighborhood in Mobile, Alabama, like celebrates St. Patrick's Day. I don't know the exact day, but it was sometime in 2006. But they actually put it on the news with a little sketch of this little leprechaun head. And yeah, the guy swears that he saw a leprechaun in the tree.
Oh,
Yeah.
he didn't catch it.
No, he didn't catch it. He didn't get his wishes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he was on TV. Maybe that was like
You know, maybe that was part of it. I don't know.
2 minutes of fame.
Yeah. There you go.
Nationwide. Or maybe local.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it got all the way here. Alabama's far.
sure. Yeah.
But I'm looking for it. So, okay. So a couple other ones. So in Tipperary, Ireland, there is an enchanted field where many locals report seeing leprechauns. They even set up a webcam to try to catch it, to catch the elusive creatures, but they haven't been able to.
No.
And it's funny because I remember you can log on to this webcam, like on the internet, and like watch it. And I remember doing this when I was in like elementary school, and we would all log on and be like, oh, did you see it? And we'd always set little traps for leprechauns and stuff like that. That was always really fun. And then I found this little legend about the pot of gold. So Irish folklore tells us that it tells of a leprechaun who was captured by a clever human, and according to tradition, if you manage to catch one, he has to grant you 3 wishes or lead you to his pot of gold. And he does this in exchange for his freedom, essentially.
Wait, okay, so who's keeping them captive? Like
if we catch them. So like,
so you can let him go, not like a genie of like,
no,
okay,
like I caught you
me free.
Yeah, and he's either going to give me 3 wishes or give me a bunch of gold so that I'll let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of messed up.
It is kind of messed up.
I kidnap you and then like in
Give
order
me all
to
your money.
Yeah.
Messed up.
Human.
Yeah. That's a very human thing to do. Okay, so my last thing, is in Carlingford, Ireland. They have this thing called the Leprechaun Hunt. So the National Leprechaun Hunt is basically a festival to honor the local folklore with guided tours, storytelling sessions, and a leprechaun hunt in the nearby Slieve Mountain, where a local man claims to have found evidence of a leprechaun in 1989. So then I had to do some digging to figure out, okay, well, who's this dude and what did he find?
Yeah.
So in 1989, PJ O'Hare heard a scream coming from the mountain and decided to go find out what was going on. And then when he trekked up the mountain to find out where the scream came from, he stumbled upon a small green suit, a hat, a bundle of small bones, and 4 gold coins.
What?
Yep. They still don't know to this day where the bones came from or anything else, but he has these all just like in a glass case displayed in his pub in Carlingford.
Ooh.
I know. Got to go see that.
Yeah.
So
where are the 4 gold coins?
Yeah.
To make the pub, dude.
Yeah,
That's how I bought the pub.
Exactly.
Okay.
So a little bit later, this guy named Kevin Woods in the same area found a leather purse with 4 gold coins while fixing a wall.
Oh.
He brought the purse to the Slieve Mountain, where he then saw 3 leprechauns with his own eyes. One was named Karog, and he told Kevin that the leprechauns were dying out because humans stopped believing in them.
Oh, like a Santa's Claus
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's
story.
literally like Santa.
Believe.
Yeah, you have to
okay.
believe. It's like the Christmas spirit, the St.
Yeah,
Patrick's Day
yeah.
spirit, you guys.
Oh, maybe we need to fill that full of snakes so that they can, now show up and St. Patrick
Need
can
to
come in
summon
and
St. Patrick.
have to have a circle and a seance for
A seance for St. Patrick. You gotta conjure him.
Yeah. Oh man,
We need Celtic
fascinating. Oh,
Gandalf to come save the leprechauns.
Man, that was great. Oh man.
So that's what I did for St. Patrick's Day, and I know that you are gonna kind of
But,
come
okay,
in hot with some
I have
stuff.
a question
Okay.
though.
So maybe I have an answer. I don't
In
know.
the enlightenment scale, where do we range these people?
The leprechauns.
Well, let's start there. The leprechauns.
The leprechauns. Honestly, they're kind of like my least favorite of all the folklore. They're kind of boring. They just make shoes and stuff.
No, I love me some shoes.
Yeah, that's true. But like those shoes, little buckles on them. Like
I can make them work.
Yeah, you're right. You can. You're right.
I put them at a 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
How about you? Where do you put them?
Yeah. I mean, the scale goes to what, 111? So I'm gonna go with like a 40 because I've never seen one.
How about the silkies?
The Selkies are pretty freaking cool. So those are up there for sure because they get to wear little hats and go back and that's the Marrows.
The Marrows. Mm-hmm.
The Selkies wear sealskin. I forgot. They're up there. That's freaking sweet. Are you kidding?
know.
I'm going like 80 plus for sure for the Selkies.
Okay. And the Marrows?
Probably the same. Well, not the boy ones. The boy Marrows can suck it. But the girls with their fancy hats that can, like Ariel who can walk on land without, selling her soul to Ursula.
When you were talking about the cap, I thought, in the 60s, like all the swimmer women, like they did like swimming acrobats or aqua,
aerobics or whatever.
Yeah,
it
but
is.
it was like this beautiful display in the
like,
water. I forgot.
Synchronized swimming.
Yes,
Yeah.
and things and they had it like this little cap with flowers.
Yeah,
It was
cute.
like pink and yellow and stuff. That's how I saw
Maybe.
it.
Yeah, maybe that's. Yeah.
Interesting. How about puka?
Oh, yeah. Puka, 111 for sure. The best one.
Yeah,
My
that's
fave.
pretty up there.
To be able to choose your, like, what you want to be that day. Like, I would turn into Tucker all the time. Are you kidding me? He lives the best life over there.
He's the best.
Except he has so many allergies. So when it's allergy season, I don't want to be Tucker.
No, poor
However.
guy. Tucker.
But yeah, how cool would that be? You're just this like can change into whatever you want. Sometimes you're nice, sometimes you're not. You just really have no expectations. Nobody expects you to be anything but what you are,
How about that? Was it called Bachi or
the Banshee?
Banshee.
The Banshee. I just kind of feel bad for her. Like La Llorona, like it's because she lost her baby, right? Like she's calling
she
her baby.
drowned her children. But I'm thinking she was more into
feel bad for
maternal
her.
mental health. She was struggling.
She didn't have
postpartum.
resources.
Yeah. No, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right.
So misunderstood. Okay.
I think the Banshee's probably kind of right up that alley. A little bit misunderstood, you know?
Absolutely. The gentleman who holds his head high.
Oh, yeah, the headless horseman. I can't remember his name,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just like a helmet under his arm. Like,
Yes.
he's creepy. He's like the
Yeah.
Grim Reaper. I don't really like that guy.
Not so good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was
Yeah.
fascinating.
What about you? What about you? Oh, well, the 12th Days and On for sure. Up there,
yeah.
hardcore, like as high as
Absolutely.
high as it goes. You know.
Yeah.
Bridget's my girl. Anyways,
She is.
but out of all of them, what would you want to be? If you got to choose, like in your next life, I'm going to reincarnate into one of these Irish creatures.
Oh, I
would
love
you
the
pick?
puka and also the ones that came. What is it called?
The 12th Day and On.
Twelfth and On.
Yeah, those demigods that are probably
Yeah.
aliens. You know.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I
Yeah.
kind of like it.
It's a good
Kinda
call.
like it. So I kind of wanted to touch in a little bit on the Irish superstition.
Ooh, my favorite.
So in a lot of this,
Are there
we
railroad
have
tracks in
heard-
there?
No.
Don't forget.
But it's crazy. Yes. Okay, we're going to talk about that. I want you to talk more about that
I
too.
think we did. I think we talked about it in another episode.
I think we just touched on it, but
No.
okay. So we know that 4-leaf clovers,
Yes.
rare and believed to bring good luck. Each leaf represents faith, hope, love, and luck. Even though St. Patrick was like the Holy Spirit, right? Like
That was a
Father,
3-leaf. Yeah.
3-leaf, but this
Yeah.
is the 4. So faith, hope, and love, love and luck. Horseshoes, hanging a horseshoe above a doorway, open. It says open end up, invites good fortune and protection from malevolent spirits.
And it has to be iron.
I figure it would have,
Yeah.
you can't just go to, Pier 1 Imports and grab one and
It's
put
got to
it.
be an iron horseshoe,
Yeah.
and it has to be, like you said, the open end up. Because if it's upside down, you're pouring all the luck out.
Ah,
Yeah, over at my mom's house,
interesting.
you'll notice on every single door there's a horseshoe above every door. Yeah,
Really? Okay. I kind of want to adopt that. I have just selenite on top of my doors.
totally. Me too. I have both.
So knocking on wood, you always hear like,
I say
knock
that
on
every
wood,
day.
knock on wood. A common practice to avoid tempting fate, believed to acknowledge the presence of tree spirits, the tree spirits. So
Yes.
knocking on the wood. Ooh, the banshee here, the wailing spirit whose cry is said to, so forewarn of death in a family.
Yep.
Yeah, not cool. And this is interesting because I was like, man, who I have given something like this. Never give a knife as a gift.
Oh, yep.
It's believed to sever the relationship between the giver and the receiver unless a coin is exchanged in return. So it's like, I'm gonna give you a gift, but pay me for it or something.
Yep.
Interesting.
You have to give the coin with the knives.
with the knives.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so funny. So far, my family follows every single one of these traditions. That's so funny.
I know I've done, of course, the 4-leaf clover.
Yeah,
I've heard
yeah.
the horseshoe. I've heard the open end.
Yeah.
No, I've seen it.
My uncle actually gave us knives, me and Christian, for Christmas last year, not this year. And yeah, he put coins in the bag and everything. It was so
that is
funny.
really cool.
And then my mom was like, no, you're supposed to do it the other way, like how you just described
Yeah.
it. So then she made me go find a penny, and I'm like, gave my uncle
Yeah,
a penny.
you're
She
like,
goes,
"Here."
we just got to make sure we cover all the bases.
I love that. I love that.
It's just so funny that my family knows these, but we don't. Like, we don't know where they came from, kind of thing. Like,
but
we
you just keep doing it.
This
because
is just
it's
what
like-
we do.
Yeah, it's like a
so-
superstition.
It's so funny.
Oh, now something that I've adopted and pass it on to my children. So please share the
love it.
railroad.
So every single time you drive over railroad tracks, you're supposed to lift your feet. Yeah. So here's the funny thing about that. Well, probably not now, but a long time ago, railroad tracks were made out of iron.
Oh yeah.
So when you drive over the railroad tracks, you lift up your feet. Otherwise, you're letting all the luck pour out. So you use iron to, so it's kind of similar to the horseshoe. Like, you're giving yourself bad luck if you're touching the ground. You're also not supposed to physically step on them.
Oh.
You're supposed to step over the railroad
Yeah,
tracks. Yeah, because it's iron and you're, letting the luck out. So you're giving yourself bad luck.
Dang. When I was a kid, I used to love walking on the
Railroad
tracks.
Yeah. You can walk on the wood part.
I know I did that too, but I also walk on the railroad tracks. Oh,
Not supposed to do that.
man. Okay.
But I mean,
do I
again, now
undo
it's probably like aluminum or steel or something now. It's
Yeah.
probably not even iron, but
But since you told me that, every time I walk, I drive by, I'm all like, "Woo, lift the feet!" And I had my son the other day in the car, and when we passed it one time, and I didn't say anything, and then I was telling him on the way back, and I'm like, "Lift your feet, lift your," and he did. It was so funny. Now,
my family is so superstitious. We have the craziest stuff. I'm pretty sure we talked about this on an episode about like you can't leave a hat on the bed.
Oh yeah,
that's super bad luck.
Yeah.
Like there's so many, but
It's
and all the ones you're
fascinating.
like knock on wood, that's a big one. Forever.
But you know
too.
what? I wasn't aware that it was like an Irish tradition.
Yeah,
like
you're tempting
superstition. Yes.
Yeah, because if you think about like the Celtic tradition, the Druid tradition, a lot of stuff that we do is rooted in nature, and it's rooted in like the natural world. Like in Druid tradition, there's something called the one life, and it's this idea, this concept that everything is interconnected, that we are all one with nature and with each other. And so that's kind of where a lot of our folklore goes into that, like knocking on wood. There's actually a big folklore around it where it's like you're knocking on, you're asking the trees for like good fortune or whatever, and you're knocking to see if anybody's home. Like there's a whole thing. I can't really remember exactly what it is.
Well, here it does say it's believed to acknowledge the presence of the tree spirit. So that is fascinating. Okay, so that was on Irish superstitions. Now,
love it so much.
how, Celtic protection, protection spells and rituals.
Oh, yes.
So protection magic was an essential part of Celtic spirituality, with many rituals focused on safeguarding the home, spirit, and the land. So I have 3. The first one is Bridget's blessing for home protection. So Bridget is the Celtic goddess of healing and heart. Is often called upon for protection to honor her, which it kind of reminds me of like Archangel Michael. For protection in a way.
Yeah, totally.
So Bridget, okay, so here you will place a small bowl of fresh water outside under the moonlight. In the morning, sprinkle it around your home, calling on Bridget's energy to guard your space. That seems super accessible.
Yes.
You've done that.
I do that all the time.
Okay.
And so just add to that ritual what you can do. So Bridget is also the goddess of like poetry and creativity. So if you can sprinkle the moon water around your home and it seals it, and also saying a poem that you made for her. Like if you do it, one that you actually made, not one that you Googled or whatever, because that's the creativity piece. And then you're honoring her with that poetry, which is like, her thing. So sprinkling the moon water, saying your poem, it kind of just adds that extra little layer.
Oh, I have some moon water at home. I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah. And now is a great time to do it too, because we're entering into spring. And Bridget is, this is her time where she's coming forward. She's kind of shed the kaliak of the winter and is now moving into, fertile times. So, yeah.
Oh, this next one is the Rowan and red thread spell. So Rowan trees were sacred. Am I saying it right?
Rowan, yeah.
Rowan. Rowan trees were sacred to the Celts, offering powerful protection against dark energies. So you tie a piece of red thread around a small rowan twig and keep it near your door to ward off negativity.
That's
interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. Again, the red thread, which is very world known. Like it's in a lot of things. Like I know other practices is like the red thread.
Yeah, I've heard the red thread a lot through lots of different rituals and stuff. Yeah, I've actually never heard that one before. I know the rowan wood is extremely
Rowan wood.
a thing, but
Okay.
yeah, that's cool. I like that one a lot.
And then salt and iron shielding.
Oh yeah.
Salt is a purifier, and iron repels mischievous spirits like fairies and negative entities. So sprinkle a line of salt across your thresholds and keep an iron nail or horseshoe near your entrance for added protection. Oh, that was it. The nail that you can also do. The iron nail near the entrance. So, the salt over the shoulder, is that Celtic as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's
Left shoulder.
left shoulder. Yeah. That's like you do it over the left shoulder. Is that just anytime you're working with salt, or just like if you
Anytime
feel
you're
something, just
working
like
with salt.
toss
Anytime
it.
you're working with salt, you throw it over your left shoulder, and it's supposed to symbolize, obviously, the left side, feminine side. It's supposed to kind of call on your ancestors for protection, kind of thing. And yeah, and you don't want to like shield. You want to shield yourself from negative entities, but you don't want to push out all of the entities.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like a back check. You know what I mean?
Oh, got it.
Yeah. I
My
do
girl
that
got my
constantly.
back.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love that. This has been so fun. I just learned so much, especially when like that knocking on wood. I had no idea it was like rooted in Irish traditions
Right?
and
It's
superstitions.
so funny. I mean, there's so much history, I think, with like Celtic and Irish traditions and stuff because it's really dates back, especially like in the Americas. Like we're such a new culture that is very rooted in Christianity. Well, there was so much before Christianity, right? That we just write off, that we don't get taught because it's not part of our culture, essentially, right? But before that, there were druids, there were pagans, and there was so much tradition rooted around the land and nature and all of us being connected. And, you think about druids now and they're so depicted as these terrible, or even pagans, right? They're all witches. They're all these terrible, evil entities. Well, no, they actually were just, keepers of the old ways. They were literally just mending the land and using the land as a resource and honoring the land in that way, right? Like they had this symbiotic relationship with the earth that we don't have anymore. And that's why the earth is dying, you guys.
We need to come back to it. We need to speak with the spirits of nature and to the fae out there. Make them your friends because they are living in your house.
Yeah,
like in your yards. They're in your
whether you decide to acknowledge them or not.
They're around.
So this St. Patrick's Day, hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight into the lore and why you celebrate this holiday. And now maybe you understand my little love-hate relationship with St. Patrick's Day, because I love the Celtic mythology. I love all the stuff that comes with it. But if the legends are true that, St. Patrick came to drive out the snakes, aka the druids or the pagans, not so cool about that. And I also don't really believe it in that way either, because Jesus was such a cool dude, He was like the Obama of that time. Like, I just feel like he'd be super dope to hang out with, you know what I mean? Like, and he's all about coexisting and just, love. And I just don't believe that a being would come down and force that upon somebody else. I just don't believe that. Yeah. Especially just, all the things that he was credited with doing. I just don't think that was what happened.
You know what I feel sometimes? I feel like, Jesus was just so is so incredible. And then he had like all these disciples that we know, right? And aside from his 10 disciples, 12 or 13, I can't remember. So, but there's other people he touched, and it's almost like that broken telephone line of like, he said this, he said that, it just goes down the line, the story. And then it was like, Jesus said that you need to kill all the Druids and all the pagans out, in the name of Jesus, like all the massacres that happened. And I'm like, I'm wondering if he's looking down and being like,
totally. Like, well, what the hell?
Totally missed what I said. Like, no, that's not what I said.
He's up there learning lessons and be like, oh, all right, well, that was a miscommunication. My bad.
That did not.
That was not how that was supposed to go.
No, but it's been wonderful. I love this. Yes, I think I'm definitely looking at some patties with and
put up your iron horseshoes. Don't pinch people.
My niece, her daughter, who I was very blessed to be on when she was giving birth to her, she's gonna be 5. I can't believe it this year, and her birthday is St. Patrick's.
Oh, that's cool. I love that.
Yeah.
What would that make her? That's what season is this? The zodiac.
Oh,
what
the
zodiac sign are we in?
Aries? No, is she already on Aries on the 17th?
I don't know.
Or maybe Pisces still? I don't know.
Still Pisces? Oh, it's still Pisces.
It's still Pisces.
It's
okay,
Pisces.
so no wonder she's so little. My Pisces, my little leprechauns out there.
I love it.
My daughter's a Pisces. Love that.
Nice.
But yeah, no, this has been great. I love it. So much to learn. So thank you, everyone. We can't wait till the next episode.
The luck of the Irish is with you.
Yes. May it continue to bless you. My fae.
Kisses to all of you, because I'm Irish. All right.
And Morantaing for listening. Morantaing means thank you.
Oh.
Morantaing means thanks in Gaelic.
Cool.
I'm trying to learn my little Gaelic.
Yes, that's cool.
So thank you. And Mafe means excellent. So this episode was Mafe, which I probably somebody listening to actually Gaelic, they're like, no, you totally mispronounced it. I'm trying.
Yeah, I know, me too. Through this
blame Duolingo, okay? Don't blame me. But yeah, we can't wait to see you next time. So tune in, stay curious. Besitos. Bye.
Peace.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to follow us on social media at Witches Who Podcast.